Hello, everyone. My name is Lewis Jackson, and I make understanding crypto incredibly easy. And the epitome of all of that is done in my BlockFlow program. You can click the link below to learn more about that. I've been diving into so much stuff about crypto recently that hasn't been about XRP. And I know a lot of people have been thinking, why aren't you talking about XRP anymore? Have you lost all faith in XRP? Um, and really, this is that video to address how that is just not the case. Sure, I've not talked about XRP as much, but let me tell you, XRP it remains a massive part of my portfolio. The conviction for me is still there. Nothing has changed on that front. But what I came to realize, having continued to think on this topic, like, um, why is it that I don't actually even feel the need to talk about XRP anymore? Why is that? And I realized it's because of the completely unfair advantages that XRP has and Ripple have over the rest of the market. And as a result of those unfair advantages, you know, as long as you know that these things exist, you don't need to think about anything else really. You don't need to populate your mind with all these other cryptos. And that's still the stance I take. So I want to dive in just quickly here because I've got to go and get my daughter from preschool. But let's get into some these major advantages that the XRP and Ripple have that just make me think, why do I even need to talk about this all the time? I don't need to at this point, because the advantages are so clear. And so, one of those main things, and really, when I talk about what I'm about to talk about, I'm really not trying to focus on the XRPL because, for all intents and purposes, right, the XRPL, the ledger, the blockchain that XRP operates on, can be replicated. Like, it literally was copy and pasted to make XLM. It's not something that is impossible to make again. But someone right now could, in my bathroom over there, for some reason, could just go and make the XRPL. They could just do it. But they wouldn't have success because of the unfair advantages that XRP and Ripple have. So one of those is, yes, we can get into those kind of superficial ones that are like the speed of XRP. These payments that are made using XRP, for any of those who don't know, XRP is a token by which you can make payments. And it's a token made specifically for payments and to make them more efficient, quicker, cheaper, and all of that kind of stuff. So the couple of things that do kind of touch on the XRPL would be, these payments are made within 3 to 5 seconds. That's brilliant. The transaction costs on them are incredibly low, almost negligible. Like, you wouldn't even think about the fees when using XRP. And so therefore it is efficient as a result. It's also energy efficient. And that, again, isn't unique to XRP or the XRPL or Ripple. Other blockchains will do that as well. So I'm not going to necessarily focus on those things, although they do help the overall push of what XRP and Ripple are trying to do. So for me, the ultimate biggest unfair advantage that Ripple has specifically is the sheer amount of connections they already have in the market. Like, it's not possible for other companies to come in, make the XRPL, remake it, and make the exact same thing. You could make XRP number 2, the exact same thing, and it would not be successful. The reason being is because Ripple's already formed partnerships with all those central banks, all the companies. They've already done the legwork. So if you imagine, like, Ripple's effort over the last 10 years or so of XRP, for all the last 10 years, they've been going to Brazil. They've been going to all these central banks, going to all these countries, making actual relationships with people, person to person, doing the legwork for the last 10 years. So if a company launched right now and said, we do everything even better than XRP, we do it better, what they still don't have is 10 years of relationships. And so, we're not just looking at tokenomics or how the ledger works. We're looking at how this has happened on a almost physiological thing. Like, relationships have been built to such a degree with such depth by Ripple already that no one else can come in and compete until at least 10 years down the line. Because in order to get to the current stature of where Ripple is today, that took 10 years. So a company being launched right now would need at least 8 years, 9 years, 10 years to do the same thing, to build the same relationships at the same depth as Ripple has, just to compete, even if they're a better blockchain. So this is why time in the game is so important as a blockchain or as a crypto company, because you can't beat the time that you've spent with people. You can't beat the one-on-one time that James Wallace, for example, the guy at Ripple in ahead of CBDCs. You can't beat, any new companies can't beat the time James has spent with government officials at in Palau, or any other country for that matter. You can't beat that. And so it's it's kind of just an advantage rather than an unfair advantage. But we have to think in this capacity. You know, in knowing that there are such established partnerships and with financial institutions and banks and countries around the world, kind of just need to know that. That's all you kind of really need to know. You add on top of that the whole big thing about the court case. Ripple went through this massive court case where the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission in America, the largest kind of financial governing body, came after XRP saying that it was sold as a security. Now this, what do I say, spun the whole world into frenzy. And all the people who didn't understand what was truly going on were kind of thinking, well, it must be a security. It's the SEC are coming after them. They must have been shady people. Not the case at all. Not the case at all. When you look at the SEC and who they've come after in history, the likes of Amazon, Microsoft, like these are pretty big companies that it's almost to be viewed like being pursued by the SEC is a rite of passage to get to the next level of like craziness as a business. And therefore everything underneath that business goes up in value, right? And XRP would be part of that. Tell me another company that has gone head to head with the SEC in such a way within crypto and made it out. None. Like, it doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. XRP again, Ripple again, their unfair advantage is that they have gone through this scrutiny and survived. So we've got two things. We've got the overwhelming amount of time that Ripple has established into partnerships with countries that no other crypto blockchain in this payment space has been able to do. So any new ones, even if they're better technology, still couldn't compete because of the time aspect. That's an unfair advantage. And then in addition, if a company wants to be more established than Ripple and in a better position than Ripple, they also have to go through this regulatory hurdle with the government, which Ripple's already done. So, in addition to that, we've got other things like liquidity and how great their team is. But other companies can have good teams. Like, that's not the thing. The thing is, you cannot beat time in the game and the regulatory overhaul and the coming out on the other side. You cannot beat that. And so, as a result, because we know these things and we know that Ripple is so secure in that, and we know that the product they offer, being XRP, or not the product they offer, but the technology underneath works, what more do you need to know? Like, what more do I need to share? Because if I just continue to share about XRP, it just becomes a news channel. And I'm not a news channel. You'll have seen from these videos, I like to talk about things that are a bit of a mind bend and different. And I've allowed myself that space to think like that, because I'm just, no one's competing with Ripple. There's no competition. So do I need to continue to talk about it when it's, for me, like a done deal? That's my position. You feel free to think whatever you want. Of course, you can think whatever you want. But, like I said, XRP and Ripple stays a massive part of my portfolio and will always remain that way. But my content right now is not looking to continue to talk about XRP, although I will talk about it from time to time, like I am here. The main thing about my content right now is that I want to make sure I find a way where everyone who has a problem in crypto, and that problem could be I don't make enough money from it, I'm too stressed. These are problems. And my program that I've spent all my time developing and I will talk about and continue to talk about in my videos, solve that problem. So my full attention is actually right now not talking about XRP. My full intention is getting people's problems solved. So I would love to explore in a discovery call with you. If you have a problem in crypto, I'd love to see if that is something we are solving in the program. Inevitably, it will be. I don't know when you're watching this. You could be watching this 5 years later. And by that means, we probably already have solved the problem that you have. But as we're in that initial phase, we're actively listening to problems and solving them, actually solving these problems. The first one, of course, is how you actually exit the market. That will flow into what we do now once we've got the money. But the program is like we're pre-selling spots in the program right now for launch in hopefully about a month's time. But if you want to register for a call to talk about it, to see how we can solve your problem, links in the description. Anyway, that's it. XRP's got a massively unfair advantage, and that should be really all you need to know.